My name's Kyle Armstrong. I'm a 2008 graduate of the Ball State University, Miller College of Business. I had a major in marketing with a concentration in sales, and I've always been an entrepreneur. It's just been in my blood. And so after graduation, I was working a corporate desk job that I hated and just knew I had to get out and start something. And so with really no plan and no idea what I was doing, I'd never started a business before. I started a business and have been doing it ever since. My company is called ZOOM, and it's a tool for training and education of sports officials. If I had to define entrepreneurship in one word, it would be waves, because I think they perfectly encompass what it's like to be an entrepreneur. It's up and it's down, and you never know what's going to come next. So in my entrepreneurial journey, I've had a whole lot of waves. I've had big, beautiful waves that you just had to grab the surfboard and ride, and then I have crashed and burned and wondered if there was any way I was going to make it out alive. And I've met some of the really good waves. I've met some of the most amazing, influential, powerful people in the world. I've been places that I could have never dreamed of. I've been in situations from the little tiny town in northeastern Indiana that I'm from. I could have never imagined being there. In NFL headquarters in New York City, and hanging out with some of the most powerful people in the world in Wellington, Florida, at a polo tournament. I mean, they were unbelievable. And then I've crashed and burned, and I thought businesses were going to fall apart, and friendships did fall apart. And I found myself in scenarios where, the only thing I could do was lay in bed for 72 hours in a dark room and wonder if I was crazy and if this was the worst idea ever. So I've been up and I've been down and I've been through it all, but that's waves in entrepreneurship. You just got to go with them. And when they crash, and when you can ride them, you ride them, and then they balance themselves out eventually. We realized there were some really difficult challenges that needed met in the officiating industry as it related to technology, which was perfect because we were very passionate about both of those things. So early on, just looking at those two things and trying to figure out how we could mold those together, that's really where it took off. There were a lot of problems in officiating, and if we could use technology in an intelligent way, we can immediately solve those. So that's really how the idea was born, because we knew it would meet a need, and we were passionate, so we knew we could make it happen. We started networking like crazy, and that's the best thing you can do as an entrepreneur. Talk to people. When you have an idea, some people say, don't share it or make them sign NDAs. Don't worry about any of that stuff. Share it and get it out there and talk to people who have done it, who have been successful in business or successful in entrepreneurship, and start asking them. They may not know your industry, but ultimately what's going to happen if you get an investor or you get people to come behind you, they don't really care about your idea anyway. They're going to invest in you. So if they can see that you can talk and you can pitch your idea, what you're doing almost is irrelevant. But we knew that we had something because the more people we talked to, the more they encouraged us to go. And then we really did do a lot of research. We were reaching out to sports officials and just laying it all out there. Is this something you'd be interested in? Is it something that you'd buy? Is it something that you'd use? And we started getting a lot of traction. But we really knew when we had something, the very first time investors got interested. We got invited to startup competitions and in events where entrepreneurs and investors came together. And maybe it was the idea, maybe it was us, maybe it was a combination of both, but people were excited. So we knew we were onto something. And if we just kept going and we kept pushing and we kept paddling, we'd get there eventually. And so I think we knew when we got validated, people started saying, hey, you can do it. And whatever that meant, whether it was make the idea happen or just us in general, we knew we had something and we just had to go for it and chase it. These people know what they're doing, and if they're going to put money behind you, they're going to figure out everything that you've ever been about one way or another. So the number one thing you can do when you're around an investor is be genuine, because they'll see right through it. If you try to lie or you try to make yourself be something you're not, they're going to know, because they've been there, they've been in your shoes. They were those people that didn't have a clue what they were doing, and they were just hoping someone would get behind them. So the number one thing to get an investor to trust you or to like you is be genuine. If they ask you a question you don't know the answer, tell them, because that's going to build trust. But tell them you'll find the answer. And then when you tell them you'll find the answer, tell them you'll get back to them with the answer. And then when you tell them you'll get back to them with the answer, get back to them with the answer. Because that's how it's going to be in business. You're going to run into things that you don't have an answer for. You're going to run into things are going to go haywire and you're not going to know what to do. And instead of making it up or just trying to blow it off, be genuine and follow up and do all the things that you're going to need to do to make it successful. And that's the only way that you're going to get by with investors. Don't blow smoke at them, because they've seen it before. It's really hard to identify one challenge that I've faced, because as an entrepreneur, I mean, you face them every day. There's always something coming and something that's, going to happen that's unexpected. But I would say the biggest challenge that, if I had to identify one, the biggest thing was after you invest a lot of time, a lot of effort, there's a lot of excitement and you really think you're onto something, and you're building and you're really laser focused on something, and your business kind of steers in that direction and all signs are a go that that is the way you need to be going, and you keep getting validated and you keep getting validated and everything is looking up, and then all of a sudden, with no warning, with really nothing to alert you, it just kind of crumples. And suddenly you find yourself just back at square one. And when you hit those moments, they're going to be the hardest thing you've ever done, because the excitement is there and the dream is right there and you're going right for it, and then suddenly it's gone. And you've got to make a decision, and that is the challenge. Do I stop? Do I quit? Do I give up? Or all this time and effort that I put in, do I really go back and look internally and go, okay, I would have never made it to here with them in the first place if there wasn't something there. So this just wasn't meant to be. Go for the next, and just go at it and smash walls until you finally figure it out and you get to the next one. The thing that really motivates me were those challenges. I don't know if it's the red hair or the personality or what it is, but if you tell me that I can't do something, or you tell me that I'm crazy, even though you're probably right, it just motivates me, and it just makes me push harder and harder and harder. And that's one thing that I'd say is a major quality you got to have as an entrepreneur, and that's something, if you're looking for investors or someone to get behind you, when you talk about them investing in you, that's what they're looking for. It's just people that are tenacious. And when you tell them that they're crazy and that your idea, I don't know. If you can kind of navigate that, sometimes they're right, and sometimes maybe you're not on the right path. But if you can look internally and you got the confidence, you got the drive, you can do it, and you just push past it, you'll get to that person that understands, and you'll get to that person that's going to get behind you. And so that's what I would say. I mean, just being tenacious and being stubborn and being fearless, because there's a lot of times you're going to get super uncomfortable. I mean, that's maybe the biggest thing in entrepreneurship. You are going to get out of your comfort zone all the time. And if you can do that and just keep driving, anything that comes in, you can really use as fuel. And for me, it was the hard times and the times when you think it's all falling apart. No. I'm pushing and I'm going to get it done, because that's all I can do. The number one tip that I would give you as an entrepreneur who's just getting started is to get uncomfortable as fast as you possibly can. And for me, that was really, initially, it was networking. It was networking, knowing that you're going to have to put yourself out there with an idea, knowing that they may look you right in the face and go, you are crazy. You've never done this before. What are you thinking? And so for me, that was it. Get uncomfortable fast. Network with anyone you can find. Use your network here from Ball State. There's a lot of really talented entrepreneurs, people who have started businesses, grown businesses, sold businesses. Take advantage of that. And the number one thing you can do is, if while you're networking, someone gives you their contact information, take advantage of it. They wouldn't give it to you if they didn't want you to have it. You're not going to bother them because they wouldn't give it to you in the first place. So network, take advantage of your network, and when you have a chance to reach out to someone, do it. Because if you let it go by, it's gone, and it's going to be even harder down the line when you really need that person. So network, 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 and get uncomfortable very quickly.